Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Our Barn Community Podcast. This is a great opportunity for us to talk all things great and wonderful. The brilliant Our Barn garden team have joined us today. We're really excited to find out the future of the garden team, but more importantly, let's find out a little bit more about Carole and Kathy, who are looking very happy to be here today. Big grin. If you could only see the picture I see right now, they're down at Jubilee Lodge and they're ready, and here we go. Kathy, the leader of the garden project, tell us about yourself and why you love gardening so much.
Hello, my name's Cathy Child, and I have changed career and come to Jubilee Lodge to run the project. Actually, I took over from Judith, who left, and I came here with Judith, and I was volunteering, and I loved it so much that I sort of, when Judith left, I took over, and I think I loved coming to Jubilee Lodge from the very beginning. It's the most magical place, Osterley Park. I absolutely adore it, and the parklands are beautiful. The wildlife aspect of it is amazing, and it's just lovely to be in charge of a garden and try to make it grow. I mean, to try to make it as best as it can be with all our hard work. So as a community effort, it's been fantastic. I think everybody really enjoys coming here. They love the outdoors, they love the activity, they love connecting with each other, and we offer a wide variety of activities. So it's not repetitive, it's never boring, you know, we keep doing, there's always different jobs to do. And I mean, I used to be a painter and decorator, so I'm quite a practical person, and doing this, I'm able to use all of my skills, all my skill sets to do a variety of things, to do a bit of DIY, a bit of painting, a bit of gardening, a bit of fence building, a bit of, you know, laying slabs is one of the next things we're going to be do. Our next project, building a polytunnel, which I've never done before, is going to be another thing that we're going to do. And it's just the variety, I think, that keeps us interested and makes it so nice to come here on a day-to-day basis. So I'm working with Carole, who I'll hand over to Carole, and you can hear a little bit about Carole and how she came to be with us.
Okay, so I started coming here as a volunteer probably about 2.5, 3 years ago. And my background is slightly different to Kathy's in that I've been gardening for quite some time. I won't tell you how long, but most of my working life. And I started working in Battersea Park, which is a very large park near me, because I knew the one thing I didn't want to do was follow a career path that involved me working inside. And one day I was walking down by the river and I saw this other woman doing some gardening, planting for the local council, and I thought, oh, that's something I could do. So that's how I started, and from there, after doing some training, I went through various different gardening jobs, setting up gardens similar to this, working for different organisations that were using gardening as a way to help people to grow and develop new skills, to learn, have good mental health, develop their own sense of well-being and self-confidence and life skills. And then I had a very long period of being self-employed. And then, as I say, I, through various different means, ended up volunteering here. And at the beginning of this year, just before the COVID lockdown, I started working here a couple of days a week. So that's where I've come from and say I've probably got different skills to Cathy, which I hope is a good thing, because then we complement and support each other. And things that she can do better than me, she shows me how to do. And there's times when maybe I can do things differently to her or have a different approach. And, you know, that's all good, because we bring everything into the melting pot and hopefully learn from each other, but also have that sense of kind of learning when things don't go according to plan as well. You know, I hate saying learn by our mistakes, but we do learn from our mistakes. But hopefully we are beginning to gel together as a good team and support each other and help the guys that come to the garden to join in our workshops.
Fantastic. Let me paint a picture. We moved into Jubilee Lodge approximately 3 years ago. It was a residential setting. One of the park rangers used to live there, and he had various different animals and a really kind of, I'd say, a very different looking garden. Fast forward to our current situation, we have transformed a part of Ostley Park, and it does look absolutely spectacular. So anybody who hasn't been to Ostley Park, hasn't been to Jubilee Lodge, must take a trip. Park on the outskirts of the park, walk in and absorb everything that that park has got to offer. But once you get to Jubilee Lodge, you know you're in a magical space. You are welcomed. You are automatically put into a place where everything grows. Everything has a space. Everything has a purpose. And our barn feel very proud to have it as the head, you know, the head office, whatever you want to call it. But it's a very, very different head office. It certainly speaks volumes for what we are all about. What do you do? What happens on a regular day at Our Barn Gardeners project?
Cathy?
Yeah, we have a variety. I mean, it's depending on the season, really. For different jobs come up throughout the year, and so the winter. I mean, now in a garden, the garden is sort of dormant. Well, most of it is dormant. There are some winter plants. We haven't got many actually here at the moment, but and then there are things that will grow over winter, but it's not. This is not the best time. So during this time, we actually rake up a lot of leaves, which we compost, and that rots down, and that becomes a feed for the soil. We do a lot of activities. At the moment, we're doing a lot of Christmas activities, which are really good fun. We've got a fantastic Christmas tree out the front, which we're just in the process of decorating. So that you will see, as you come and have a walk through the park, you'll see the tree. It's fabulous. And so, as I say, the activities do vary. We are going to expand we're going to put up a polytunnel, which will mean that we have much more opportunity to grow things over the winter. We've got really exciting areas in our barn. When we first arrived, there was nothing here. There were chicken sheds and some gravel, loads of hedges, and throughout the time Judith started, we've started breaking it up into areas. So we've got a potting area, a compost area, a fire pit area, a sensory walk. We've got a mini wildlife meadow. We've got an orchard. We've got a long border and a shady border, and it's all, so we've got little zones now that we've got, so we can grow different shade-loving plants here, and we've got raised beds for our vegetables, and so we've got loads of opportunity now to do real huge variety of jobs. So yeah, so that it's really varied. I mean, I don't know if you can add anything to that, Carole. I think, what else do we do here?
I think the thing is, one of the benefits of being here, as David said, because it's such an amazing space, that the view that we have is truly spectacular. And because with the changing seasons, we've seen things that you don't always get to stop and notice, like some of the most spectacular sunsets. We have a beautiful park. We do go for walks in the park because we feel it's important that with our members who come, and just for ourselves, that we try and incorporate into the day the appreciation of the whole space that we have, so that people get to see things or to consider things from a different point of view. And even things like, it might be a simple thing like feeding the birds, making, as Kathy said, I think just before we started, we made our own fat balls. Now that sounds really easy, but we had to consider putting the right seeds in, the mealworms, the right things for the birds to eat. We then also did things like making, putting fruits on strings and little bits of plain popcorn, because those are also things that the birds will benefit from, and the squirrels and other animals that come into the garden. And even things that we would sometimes, that we struggle with, the fact that we have moles in our garden, the fact that we have hedgehogs in the park, those are not things that you see or experience every day, but they are sort of like part of the whole part of the nature of this park. And if you consider where we are, we're just to one side of the M4, we're just slightly shy of Heathrow Airport. And yet it's like being in the middle of the countryside. And I think it's a really amazing space just to come, even if you just come, have a cup of tea and sit and just take it all in. It's just a very, very different space from the everyday.
Myself
and I think sometimes even that is just such a positive thing. Apart from all the jobs that we do, there's also just such a positive thing.
Yeah, myself and Jamie got to have a session there last Friday, and everybody got their hands dirty, and that is a positive thing. Everybody got stuck in. Everybody had a purpose. Every single person who turned up wanted to be there. This is a good place. This is a positive, very, very, very positive place, supportive environment. What was very, very, very apparent was the lively nature of the project. So there's always a robin to watch. There's always a squirrel to be curious about. There's always something happening which wouldn't happen on your balcony. Certainly not on my balcony. I'm shooing the pigeons away. We've got huge birds soaring in the sky. You know, there's so many different things to be distracted by, not just the work, but it's definitely, it's been renamed. I don't know if you've seen the sign. I'm sure you have, the Basil. So I think the Fawlty Tower side of it, okay, maybe sometimes, who knows, but by all means, the deluxe breakfast that the animals get from the fruit patch, and soon to be the orchard with the pears and the plums and the cob apples and whatnot. I think we give something to everyone. Would you agree?
I think sometimes we give a little bit too much to the wildlife.
Can you ever?
We come in the morning and they've had all the lettuce, so it's a real struggle. We're working out. I've decided I need to raise the raised beds higher so that the rabbits can't jump up on the raised beds. So we did do some trays of grass, and every time I come in, that's all trimmed down. That's all like cut grass. So they are, but I mean. Yeah, we're definitely sharing this space with wildlife.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It feels like we're sharing a piece of history, which is the National Trust, because it is a glorious patch of land, you know, with the farmer, Julian, who's our close neighbour. So we get to, you know, to watch the cows, you know, really behave in a way that you would never see in a city. We are living in a city, observing animals, us being one, in a park which is a very magical place. Very, very, very magical. So we've got things to look forward to, for sure. The Our Barn gardeners get very busy, but are always creating something. And what I like about the project, is that somebody always wants to build. Sam last week wanted to build his birdhouse. The bee hotels went down a storm at Q Fair. So people have always got something to look forward to. It's not just a gardener. You know, you have something else to offer. It's really cool.
Yeah.
We're quite productive. We produce at the moment. We're making little half log table decorations and log reindeers. We use a lot of cardboard. We're making some. I made some deer heads. So we've got some busts either side of the door with deer heads with twig antlers, and we make cardboard Christmas trees are a big thing. So we're getting them to decorate those. So we try and recycle as much as possible in the garden. We try not to waste anything. You know, that's part of our ethos as well, that we're eco-minded.
We're gentle on the land.
Yes, we're looking after it.
So for anybody who has followed us on Twitter or Instagram or on our Facebook, you'll have seen in the past we created our own greenhouse out of plastic bottles and bamboo, you know, things like that. Who would, in their right mind, collect thousands and thousands and thousands of plastic bottles to build a greenhouse? It's our barn.
Effective.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But we've grown since then, so we're gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we realised that we need a way to stop mice. We must have a lot of field mice here, and we need to stop the mice from eating, so they could get into the plastic bottled greenhouse.
Yeah.
So we need. We're learning all the time, and we need a secure environment for our plants because they absolutely love anything like, we tried to grow sweet peas and the mice just got in and dug up all the sweet peas. So we're having to outsmart them. So we're working on that at the moment.
It's definitely the animals' version of Fawlty Towers. They've got everything they want. I
find it funny though, you come in and they've had it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
They've definitely had some corn in the past, I remember that one. But yeah, our young people have got a great approach to the garden. It's a very holistic approach. It's not a we must grow, we must sell. This is very different. We must observe all the seasons and enjoy each other's company.
Yes.
That cup of tea is very, very, very important. That lunch, everything is outside, so we've got to keep each other warm. Warm with company. Yeah, sorry, Carol.
No. I was just going to say, one of the things that I really like is the fact that, you know, there are those times when we can just sort of sit and sort of like chat, ask how, you know, each other's week has been, and find out a bit about each other. You know, some of the guys that come, their different interests and different things that they do, other places that they go, and we were always hearing a lot about our futures or the dance or things with Kelly during the week and other things that they're interested in. So it's really nice to get to know our members in a sort of more relaxed, sort of social way as well. Yes, I mean, it is cold. We are having to do everything outside because of COVID, but people are really up for it. They, you know, we say wear lots of layers, and they do. We wear, you know, we're getting the sensible shoes thing across, and do you know what? Nobody sort of comes and thinks, oh, it's so cold, it's miserable. They come and they're ready and they're just interested, and it's lovely. It's really nice to be able to sort of share different things with them. And one of the things that I really think we got a lot from this year is we joined the Capital Growth Project. And so the vegetables that we grew in our raised beds, we were able to donate to the local open kitchen, and so they used them, you know, to provide hot meals for people in the local area. And we know some of our members actually also had a real seed to plate kind of experience because they helped grow the vegetables, we took the vegetables to the kitchen, and then some of our members would occasionally go and have their lunches there. So they were actually eating things that they'd actually helped to grow. And that was an amazing thing. And I think they got so much from it. It was such a positive experience. And that was something that we're hoping to develop, after Christmas into the new year. That's something, again, that we're hoping to participate in and maybe develop further.
Brilliant. We've covered quite a lot of stuff, ladies. Is there anything other than thanking some people who've looked after the garden? Is there anything that we're not quite sure that we haven't or have, or everything on my list has been ticked.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Why do you love gardening?
I love gardening because it's ever changing, and I like being active. I like doing something physical. I like being outdoors, and I like working with people as a team and getting something done. It's really nice to be together and to motivate each other, and to, at the end of the day, have achieved something. And as I say, with a garden, you're always thinking of a better idea and a better way to do something. So you're always improving. So what's not to like about that? You're going forward. I like going forward, and I like doing it with other people.
Carole, why do you love gardening?
I think probably similar. I think there's just so much to see. And as I said before, working here, the surroundings are incredible. And somebody once said to me, "Oh, so you do gardening with chat?" And I thought, yeah, I do. I do two things that I like doing: gardening and having a chat. So, and seeing things grow, seeing sometimes the look on somebody else's face when they realise that the seeds they planted have grown into something really, really beautiful or edible, and then they can take some home. We're still into sharing stuff, so our guys still get to take things home with them and use them. And some people recently, that's been a positive experience as well. So I like the feel, I hate to say it, feel good factor. It's really nice because I go home with a good feel good factor as well. So that's why I enjoy gardening.
I know Sam went.
I've never really wanted to do anything else.
Yeah, I know Sam went home last week and washed every inch of his body because he smelt of smoke for the weekend. But he wanted another fire. He was desperate for another fire. Like, that has not put him off. He has found that element of caring for something, putting his heart and soul into something, and still coming away from it with slightly negative, because it's kind of like a smell that some people don't like, some people do, but he had to share the public transport home, and it's okay, but he wants more, which is the equation. It's working.
Yeah, I like the element. Sometimes it's a bit dangerous, it's a bit edgy, and they're doing something a little bit that they wouldn't be able to. You can't do it in a domestic environment, but you can do it out here. You can get a hammer out and swing a hammer around, or saw something up. That's sometimes sometimes they haven't done that. So, that's a really that's. The experience of doing something you haven't done before that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
100%. Yeah. We love it. We love it. We love you guys. We love the garden. We love Jubilee Lodge, and I think everybody who interacts with you guys and the garden get more than they could ever imagine out of it.
That's great news.
Yeah. So thank you for spreading joy.
No problem.
Our barn are very lucky to have you. We're very lucky to have Jubilee Lodge. We'd like to thank the volunteers for making, because this year wasn't quite the same as every other year. This year we were paused in our developments due to this pandemic. But the volunteers who turned up over summer embraced everything that garden had to offer. So they just did everything that we asked of them, and we'd love to have them back in the future. We'd like to really thank the volunteers, and for Karen for organising them, because when we did get back into the garden, it was somewhat more manageable.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks for coming, ladies.
No problem.
Take care.
It's a real pleasure.
Okay,
Thank
everyone.
you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.